And welcome to Macabre Mondays. This is Kyle Gentry. I am a character designer and character illustrator. Been working for 20 years in the industry, and some of you may be coming here from my Camp Zombie live stream. That's awesome. Welcome. This is a series of videos I'm doing aside from Camp Zombie that are pre-recorded, so you can see a longer format of how I work. And this particular series is dedicated to my Macabre McMorbidlys family portrait series that I sell online, and also in print form online, and also at cons and events and things like that. You can go to my website, which is located at the top of the screen, tkylgentry.com, and see the rest of my artwork, see the rest of the family that I'm designing. You can also go to my store and buy prints and books and such, and I welcome you to do so. So if you like the video, I would ask you to like the video and give me a subscribe. That would be great. Help grow the audience a little bit, and hopefully you'll like what you see. So today we're going to be doing, this is set H, so I'm well into this family series. I'm designing 50 members so far of this last generation, and I'm into set H. There's 4 in each set, so eighth 1 through 4, B 1 through 4, and so on. And this is set H, and this is one of the images from there. I believe she's H4, but this is Disharmonia McMorbidlys. She is an opera singer. And I've already gone ahead and done the rough sketch of her with a few little tweaks here and there that I made with a tight sketch. And we're going to do color fill, local color fill, and we're also going to do some tight line work today. So join me. It'll be fun. All right. Get rid of that rough sketch. Okay, so you can kind of see a bit of the tight line work here, and that's what I use as the underdrawing, which is fine. And this is good. All right. There we go. All right. And I have a special color set because I paint them all in a sepia tone style. So it's a little warmer, and I take it into Photoshop and I do a bit of color correction after I'm done, add some scratches and things, make this look like actually an old photograph. So let's do this. Let's actually go underneath that layer. Actually, yeah, underneath that layer. There we go. Skin first. A little orange. I know on screen it looks a little orange, so we're gonna. She's very pale. Takes good care of herself. Got a good blocking brush, or I'm sorry, a filling brush. I'm just gonna do skin, and I generally do a fill first, and then I'll go in and do some line work over, and I go back and forth. So we'll work on just kind of this. I'll add some fill work around the entire thing, but we'll focus primarily on her head today. Good thing is the characters with the more skin showing is faster for me to render. And I will do some videos dedicated to this sketch work of creating some new ones. When I'm in the next set, I'll do that. The next set is going to be another set of family pets. If you go to the website, you'll see I did a previous set of family pets. I do 2 sets of family members, so 16 family members, and then I do a special set. And the first special set was family pets. The second special set after the next 16 family members was family servants, and I'll do another special, then I did 60 more family members. I'll do another special set of pets, 60 more family members, another special set of servants, and then when I have that many, I also do 2. I've done 1 convention special that's only sold at conventions, and I have a limited number of them with special stuff that comes with them. There will be one more of those, and if you add all that together, it comes out to 50. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. The book's going to be fantastic. I've been planning the book for a while. Just got to get the rest of the family members done. If I want to mess with her skin color a little bit more, I probably will at that point. Good for that. So a lot of this is just filling. You know, I'm not worried about staying in the lines when it comes to some of the other stuff because the clothes are going to be painted on top of her skin. All except for the fur cape. No, that'll be painted on top too. As I look, I'm just trying to figure out when I go through this, I look and figure out the best way to do something layer-wise. What's the most logical way for me to paint a character? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to give her, I'll go ahead and lay in some hair too. I'm going to do this is where I have to be careful around some of the lines because it's going to be going behind her and in front of her and all that, so I've got to be cautious. I'm going to lay as close to the skin as possible, then do a close-up and do some detail work. Kind of go in and fix it. There might be some things I change about the drawing as I go. Oftentimes I'll do that. I'll figure out some kind of creepy, really funny thing to do with the character because they're all about, you know, creepiness. And there's other families, you know, Munsters, Addams Family, things like that that are similar to this kind of thing. There's always been that kind of fascination with creepy families and such. And I'm just following in the tradition of that kind of fascination. I go to Disney World once a week to create character designs for fun out of tourists that I see walking around. And you can also see some of those on my website, but one of my favorite rides at Disney has always been the Haunted Mansion. And when I started this series, I wanted to see if I could design a family that looks like they could hang as portraits inside the ride for fun. Like, I thought that would be a fun thing to try. And lo and behold, the McMorbidlys were born. I did one portrait, which is Squire Drummle. He's the kind of the head of the family at the moment, or at the moment of the last known time anyone saw them alive, because the way I'm looking at this, telling the story, especially in the book when I get it out, is every one of these little portraits comes with a little bio of each character that's on card form on the back. And in that, I tell their story, but I tell it from the perspective of someone who is like maybe a historian, an American historian who's found this abandoned town in New England at an undisclosed location. I'm not going to... I don't know some of those details yet as I come up with them, but at an abandoned town, and they found this burnt down mansion on top of a hill. And as I'm excavating and looking, I find this box full of all these portraits of this forgotten family called the McMorbidlys. And I'm kind of sharing them with the world in this book, in these portraits. And so that's the premise of this book, and basically the book's going to look like a family album. But I basically have found the archive of the entire family in this group that I'm drawing now. This first 50 is like the final generation before the family disappeared in the house fire or something, or to parts unknown. No one knows for sure. And if I do another book or another set of prints, it'll be the previous generation that came before all these. So then I can start delving into even more history and such, historical characters and their family lineage. And the family last survived, like the last record of them was in the 1880s. I believe 1886 is what I wrote. But there's all kinds of crazy members. There's one, like, you might ask yourself, well, how would you get photographs from family members that are older than the age of photography? Well, one of the family members created a time travel helmet out of one of the chef's pots. He was a genius, and he created this time travel helmet, and it had kind of a steampunk vibe to the helmet. Anyway, you can go see him. His name is what did I name him? It doesn't come to me at the moment. There's so many of them I've created. Quanticus. There you go. Quanticus McMorbidlys. For, quantum physics. And I play with names a lot and words and such. But he basically can send photos forward, and that's how I'm explaining how the other photos made it from history. So, and this dear lady is Disharmonia. She is one of the world's worst opera singers, but you can't convince her of that. I take the adage of, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Well, it's over for everybody when this fat lady sings. So, and I used a lot of fun little reference, from your classic Viking lady opera singer, to you've got that, and the What's Opera Doc with Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. I had a lot of that running through my head when I was designing a lot of this stuff for her. Do the head, then I'll start doing some line work on the face so it doesn't get too monotonous with the hair. Eyebrows are the same color as the hair, so I'm going to put those on the same layer. Actually, the eyebrows or the eyelashes are too, but I'm not going to worry about those this second. I'll worry about that when I'm doing the lines. It's starting to get a little too uniform, so let me really frizz this up. I want it to be a little wilder in some places than what I have it as. Because I've got to paint all these curls too, so I've got to be careful not to give myself so much work that I can't get it done. Madame Aracula is is the fortune teller of the family, and you can go in to my website and look at her, and her hair, it's nuts. But I have a technique for curls and things like that, and it didn't take as long as you'd think it took, but it still took some time. But she's also one of the most wrinkled people I've ever drawn. She was a lot of fun to paint and to play with. Relying a lot on size of the brush dependent on... I'm using a Wacom Cintiq 24 HD, and I'm using a lot of pressure to change brush size and stuff, and I'm using my whole arm to paint with, not just my wrist, and I have a lot more control over things. If I'm really noodling detail, then I'll use my wrist, but Some of these lines will get cleaned up, you know, as I go. I'll race back into the hair and whatnot. There we go. Okay, it's good for the hair. A little scragglies and scribblies here for errant hairs that have kind of gone their own way. I do like painting hair. It is a lot of fun for this kind of hair. And there's going to be a texture difference between the hair and the fur, this kind of fur cape she's wearing. So, all right. Go to the skin layer, create a new layer, and it'll be a masking layer because I'm going to do the eyes. I always try and get the eyes laid in early on because it helps me. It helps me find that right balance of creepy and funny. The sketch has a lot of that in there already, but when I start to add paint, it might actually turn a lot more scary than I intend, because there's a balance between hilarity that I'm looking for and terror. Yes. All right, let me go back up to here, and actually let me do an in-between layer for the eyelashes because I gotta paint the hair still underneath. So we're gonna go super dark on the eyelashes, and I'm gonna go with a different pen. So as I'm outlining, I'm drawing go with the darker pencil. As I'm drawing and I'm painting at the same time, I'm not doing a strict line with a paint over it and underneath it. I'm actually using the line as part of the painting. Sometimes it'll blend in, sometimes you'll see the line. That's intended. That's just part of my style for this series. If you look at my Monty stuff, the sketch is super rough, and I intend it to be that way. I want it to be more of a playful, fun kind of a series, so it looks like something and it's something I'm sketching really fast before I go to paint. Oh, Disharmonia. And I'll come up with good character beats for their backstories as I paint too. Like there will be some design element that I'll really like about them, and then it'll swing me in a certain direction. Like for instance, there's a judge in the family named Judge Malleus, who originally I was gonna in every one of these paintings the family M crest, which was in the opening title of this video, is somewhere in the painting, either somewhat hidden or somewhat obvious. And I was going to put a tie pin on his tie that had the family M, and I'm like, well, he's a judge, and maybe he hangs everybody regardless. So I made his tie pin a hangman's noose, and I put the M carved into his ivory pipe that has all these ghostly faces carved into it, which was a lot of fun. Let's move that above. There we go. In the last series I did a woman who, her name was Luvine Elastic, and as in if it's spelled or pronounced phonetically, Lovin' Elastic, she actually is addicted to plastic surgery. She's had a ton done, really, and I really enjoyed her. She's in this, you can only see her reflection in the mirror, or her makeup mirror, where her beauty table is. That was a ton of fun to do. You should go check that out. And although this character is wearing quite a bit of makeup, it's stage makeup. I don't want to, I want the family members to reference each other without being overly similar. Excellent. All right. Yes, coming together. All right. I'm doing the iris and pupils here. I want her to have very piercing eyes, so I'm going to give her very light colored eyes. And again, this is in sepia tones, so if she had green eyes, you'd never know. It just is tones. Let's go with a warm gray. There we go. Let's try that. I need to get a better angle on how I'm drawing that. Let me go back to my flatting brush. It'll be a little more controllable. Excellent. Okay. Very nice. All right. For this booger, for the actual dark spot, I'm going to go with a different tool altogether and go with a pen because I want the lines to be very, very sharp. Oh. Forgot to change the color. There it is. All right. The smaller that opening is, the more piercing the eyes are. The larger this whole area is, the more innocent the character looks, and that is not what I'm going for. All right, it's decent, but again, not as piercing as I want, so I'm going to just play with size. I got to get rid of the drawing just to see it. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. All right. I would imagine in real life she's a redhead. That'd be fun. All right, got the eyes done. Now, I'm going to start laying in some line work over the skin. Yeah, just kind of playing with how I want to do some things. All right. I'm going to go with just a slightly darker color than what the skin actually is. You know, the skin's just not light enough for me. I don't think I want her to be a little more pale than that, so I'm going to go even more pale. Just do a quick fill. Ah, yeah. Much better. Okay. Oop. Just a little spot there. All right. So the idea is I'm looking for the heart of the line. I'm looking for the essence of the line that I've laid down. A little too dark. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but you just got to feel it. Like I said, some of these lines are going to disappear with the painting. Some of them will stick around depending on where I want to emphasize an edge or not. I like a good blend. She's got this kind of perky, upturned nose, which shows her disdain for the common unwashed masses. Still on my G pen. That's not what I wanted. Some of those lines are okay, though. I'll keep them, but I wanted to do my old rough pencil. That's my go-to for some of this stuff. Actually, go to my old darker pencil. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. I control the width a little bit better now. The G pen is great, but I don't have as much control with the settings that it has on it for line width. Okay, that's good, but I just got to take that edge off. I'm going to do these videos just in steps, so you're seeing pieces. You don't have to see it all at once. And go at, 30 to 40 minutes each is good. I don't want to do the whole painting in one video. That's just not my style. Some artists will, but I want to give you smaller videos to have fun with, not overwhelm your time. I put a lot of beauty marks on my characters. There's something about the avarice that I find funny of those. I'm not going to worry about putting lines over the lips because that's going to be on a different layer. Really emphasizing that mouth, that open, wide, singing opera mouth. Oh, I got that line dang near perfect the first time. I love it. Okay. Okay. And there's shading in there in some places that I'm ignoring for the sake of the line. I'm also giving her a bigger chin than what the original drawing called for. I wasn't overly happy with that funky line that curved in too hard. Didn't follow the natural form. And I put notes on these little medallions around her neck that are kind of broken. I might change that. Or just have them as notes that aren't on medallions, just notes that dangle. Broken notes. Just indicating the fur right there a little bit with the line from the face. I don't want it to overdo it. Excellent. All right. I wanted to give her, sausage-like fingers. Anatomically, they're not correct, so don't even, it's not. I'm not trying to, I'm exaggerating correct. And I'll erase a lot of the shape here to go along with the outlines that I'm giving it. And it's losing a bit of definition with the knuckles and stuff. That's how you make it sausage-like. Her little sausage-like fingers, her fat fingers and whatnot. And I know this line over here on the edge isn't, it's not clean. I'll fix it. Actually, I'm going to do that right now when I'm using a much harder eraser that's easier to control. There we go. Now that I'm in here, I always hit that one button wrong. The zoom out every time I come off the rotate. It's just where it's placed. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Okay, go back to that. Yep. actually need to cut that top finger in just a little bit, so I'm going to do it using the hair. Cut away that form a little bit, chisel down on it. It's another way to create form, is to look at the negative space, not the positive space. Yeah, all right, now I'll cut back into it again just to fix the edge, but yeah, that's much better. There we go. Okay, I'll go back down to the skin and cut away to the line. The program I'm using, if you don't know, is called Clip Studio Paint, for those that are wondering. It's an excellent painting program. It's my go-to. I also use Painter for when I'm really looking to create a certain effect with specific kinds of paint. Like, it emulates real drawing media, so if you want to paint in watercolor, you can actually make it look like you're painting a real watercolor. That kind of thing. Which I do that occasionally. Yes, okay. Create some better lines here. Also, always going back and correcting. Flatting brush is great, but it doesn't do absolutely everything. It's great for getting that huge general shape down. That is not a standard brush that comes with the program. I got that from a fellow artist who shared some of his brushes that he likes to paint with, and it's an awesome brush. I love it. All right. He's got big boobs. And that's where I'm putting the family M, is on the brassiere to her costume. I just thought that would be, visually, I thought it'd be really funny. All right, 7 minutes left. Let's see if we can get the lips and the lips laid in. Too dark. I don't want to go quite that dark. There we go. That's better. Notice I'm not doing an outline for this. I'm just going to paint the form. It's okay. It's so dark it doesn't need any kind of outline. And don't worry, when I'm doing certain things like the fur and the hair, I'll show you quickly what I'm going to do, but do a cut, and then you'll see it completely done using the technique that I've been using. I don't want to bore you with that. It's just a lot of busy work to watch. So myopic when it comes to the tool I'm using, I forget that there's better tools for me to do large area with. I was using my old sketch, or my old drawing pencil, rough pencil, instead of the actual fill. There we go. Okay. Yes. And I'm not looking like I'll use line and highlight and shadow and such for cleanup to make things perfect. I'm not looking for exactly perfect. Like I said, I'm looking for the heart of the line when I'm doing the edges. That edge, there's this beautiful edge that I'm looking for, and that's what I'm wanting. All right, let me go back to darker pencil because there's a precision to the edge of that pen that's a little bit better than the filling. There we go. Okay. Okay, there's a curve here that I really love, and I want to make sure I get it right. That's why there's some confusing lines right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll use a filling brush to fix that. Or the flatting brush, pardon me, to fix that. Flatting brush, pardon me, there we go, flatting brush. Now I can just go in and go to town. And I'm going to put a much darker thing just for the entire mouth underneath this, just to get that area blocked in. But now I've got a little bit of gimme to work in. Yeah, I'll go a little long and just get the mouth, the tongue, mouth, you know, the uvula in the back, that little dangly bit, kind of blocked in and done. And I'm going to make it wet in there. It's going to be fun with a shine. So now I'm working from back to front. So as I'm layering on top of this, I go to the very furthest element first. That way I can paint and not worry too much about staying inside of lines and such. There we go. And then I paint over that for the edges, and I'm not like I said, too worried about a lot. Nope. Keep going until I find, there we go. I can honestly say I think this is the first time at McMorbidlys I've had to paint the tongue, if I remember right. A little darker. I need to differentiate out from the, there we go, from the lips, the edges of the lips right there. I don't want it to blend too much in. And her tongue is quivering, even though you can't see it because it's a still image. I want you to get the impression, because her mouth is so wide and the expression on her face, that her tongue is just quivering with a note that's just destroying ears everywhere. That's the idea behind her. Tongue is almost a creature on its own in here. It's kind of writhing up out of her mouth like some kind of monster to kill you with sound. Excellent. Okay. One more for the teeth. I'm going for like an ivory coloring here. A lot of the McMorbidlys that I've painted have like crooked teeth and nasty teeth, and I want hers to be a bit more perfect. Like, there's something sinister about someone with two perfect teeth, you know? There's something delightfully dark about that. And I want to play with that perception. It's funny the way this, and I'll put indentations for each individual tooth. I'm just not there yet. And I will put the lines down for these two because these are a much lighter color. So we'll get some lines down for this. All the time. I hit that zoom as I'm getting away from the rotate. There we go. Okay. Now, I won't draw the lines today on here. I'll do it. You've already seen how I draw lines, so I might do it in between. Put just a little indentation so you get an idea that the teeth are separated. There we go. Okay. Nice. You go a little more white. Yeah. Create a temporary masking layer on that and just do a fill. There we go. Drop it down. Okay. All right. Yep, so we're sitting here for 40 minutes. That's probably good. Okay, so I've laid in the face, I've laid in the hair, lips, tongue, teeth. I will continue to lay in coloring, and it'll be completely laid in by the time you see the next video. And I'll be starting to render. So you've seen how I do line work, you've seen how I do fill work. I just want to give you a feel for each individual step in creating one of these characters. And if I'm really working at it, if I'm not worried about recording or anything like that, if I'm really working at it, these can take me anywhere from 2 days to a week. Depending. The quickest one I ever did was within a day, and I almost killed myself doing that just because there was so much detail involved and I had to get it done to get it off to the printer in time. But I'll get the rest of this laid in, and I will see you again for a Macabre Monday afterwards, and we'll continue on with part 2. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video so far, and hit subscribe so you can see all the future videos. Go to my website, tkylegentry.com, check out the other artwork, go to my store, pick up some prints. They're all shipped from me, and I quality test all of them so that they're color matched and everything looks great. I also sell canvases that are stretched, and those take a little bit longer because they're special order, but they look fantastic, and they're already pre-wired to hang. I sell books of my tourist character drawing down at Disney, and also I have a show called Aliens and Outlaws that's in pre-production, and I sell the book of all the concept artwork for that. So give that a look. You guys have a great day, and I will catch you next time for Macabre Mondays.